All right, everyone. We are going to make mayonnaise today. We are going to make pumpkin soup. We're going to make some coleslaw with the mayonnaise. We are also going to make a tray bake, like a mincy, like you would normally make with pasta, but we're going to do it with a twist to just get you doing something different. And then we're also going to cook some chicken up. It all sounds like there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on, and we're going to be pretty quick. And I'm going to show you what you can get done in an hour. So we're going to do mayonnaise first. 3 eggs. If you have a Thermomix, great. If you don't, you can use a food processor, and it's the same principles. So I used to only ever have a food processor to make this with. So you're going to cook 1 whole egg. And 2 egg yolks. There is recipes out there in some of the cookbooks that we've given you. I don't follow recipes, so we're just going to play it by ear. And maybe Jess, because she's sitting here making sure this is all working out okay, she might tell you how much things are, but I might even use some teaspoon of stuff so it makes it a bit easier for you. So 2 egg yolk, 1 whole egg. Most mustards have sugar in them or some sort of number in there, numbers in your body. Doesn't know what to do with them, so they just store them away. And then they end up being little free radicals just cruising around your body, so not a good thing. So mustard powder, just Keen's mustard powder, about that much, about a teaspoon. And apple cider vinegar. Get the one with the mother in it because it's always better. And maybe 1/4 cup or so. At this stage, I'd put your kettle on, boil your kettle. Because some mayonnaise can have that yucky, oily taste, so we want to get rid of that. So no matter what you're using, you're going to blend it. Then, see this? Can you see that? Is that you? So mellow olive oil. If you use extra virgin olive oil, or, and I know this is probably a bit of a no-no because it's refined oil as well, you should really want to be using just extra virgin, but when you put that stuff in the fridge, it does separate out and your mayonnaise won't last that long. So this mayonnaise will last in your fridge like for a good month. So if you use refined, it doesn't go hard and solidify. So what we're going to do is turn this on. So if you've got a food processor with a hole in the top, you're going to pour it in really slowly. Because I've got a Thermomix, I can just fill this thing up with oil and just make it's going out of parts. Yeah, really a little bread with it. Yeah. And we'll probably need we have that with need some. So that can still hold more oil because it is still a little bit runny. So we will use the rest of the oil. And then in the meantime, what we're going to do is cut these onions in half, like cut the tops and bottoms off and cut them in half to get ready for our next dish. So I'll just get this going. Yeah. So thick. That is a mayonnaise. And it's made from scratch and you don't have to sit there and whisk it, but and that just takes the edge off the oiliness. That's a bit yucky sometimes. So it really is quite simple just to make a mayonnaise. And like if you were going to turn this into a Caesar salad dressing, what you would have added at the beginning would have been some garlic. If you wanted to make an aioli and you have a Thermomix, you could put some garlic in it first with a bit of olive oil and just cook it for a bit, because garlic that's not cooked is not real nice. If you've ever had garlic bread with fresh garlic, it's pretty potent. If you cook your garlic a little bit first, like just sweat it off a little bit first, it is a much nicer flavour. So this is what the mayonnaise is like. So, and we're going to use that to make coleslaw. So we'll just move that out of the way. What we're going to get on with now is pumpkin soup. So my pumpkin soup is a little bit different, and you've noticed already probably if you're calories in, calories out counting and you've been on diet programs before, you're probably thinking, holy shit, this has got so much fat in this way that this woman cooks. But fat's flavour. You know, whenever a company decides that they're going to remove fat out of anything, so cream or anything like that, they take the fat out, they always have to replace it with sugar, because when they take the fat out, they take the flavour out, which is never a good thing. So then they have to artificially create flavour for you. So if you ever buy anything that is half fat or less fat or anything like that, be sure as shit that they're going to put sugar in it or some sort of other natural flavour and additive or something like that. You know, and Craig and I went, I don't know where we were. We met somebody that worked in a flavour place. So like they make flavours and it's all chemicals. Like I think Eric's already said in some of the videos, the smoke coming off things is chemicals. But this man said like they have to be all fitted out, gloves and everything, because the stuff that they're dealing with is so poisonous. And that's why they can only put a tiny little bit into our food and that, but they make it so potent and so poisonous that it's not good for us. So whenever you see something where they say flavour added, which is why I sort of said last night about Haley salt, where it says smoked salt. If it says smoke flavour, they've just added some chemical to it. So just be a bit wary of that. And you make your own decisions, because I still sometimes drink a vanilla coffee, which is vanilla flavour, but it's just so nice. And I could make my own, you know that. You just have a shot of coffee and put some seeds in it, which I've actually done before too, and it's so much nicer. Anyway, pumpkin soup, onion, there's 3. 1 pot. Just put all the onion in. Now this is the most easiest, most yummiest pumpkin soup I've ever made. My husband wanted me to make it with leek in there. Sorry, honey. Not happening today. Let him get over it. I'll just tell him it's in there, and then he'll watch this video one day. It's like, what the? So full fat butter. That is all butter, and we'll have a little bit more. Remember, we are not following a calories in, calories out. I don't go and measure anything, even the scales in my bedroom. All they are is telling you what you did yesterday, so, or the day before, or the week before. So don't get emotionally involved with what anything that is telling you where you are now is, because it's all your past, so don't worry about it. So we put that in. Now this is the pumpkin. That it was a gift from somebody. Whenever you cut anything like this, whether it be anything that you're cutting, the best thing to do is create a flat surface for you to work. So when you've got a flat surface, you have less chance of hurting yourself. So create a flat surface and it doesn't rock. Then you just want to take the skin off. I'm working fast here because I want to show you what you can accomplish in an hour. And I know I probably cut faster than what you would cut. So even if you had to add on a few more minutes for your cutting skills or something, and you can feel this. I just want to show you what's possible in an hour or so that you're not afraid to cook. And it doesn't have to be really hard. You should never cut towards yourself. Always cut away from yourself. I lost one of my wood knives because I had it. It was so quite funny. The last retreat I did in Cairns, I thought I left my knife at Georgetown and in the Airbnb that I stayed at, and went all the way to Adelaide. And when I got to Adelaide and got on the plane to come back to Darwin, they said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, there's a knife in your bag." And there was my knife. And I was like, I've been looking for that. I even rang the Airbnb thinking that I left it there. And I said, I got all the way from Cairns with that in that same bag because I never used it. So Cairns security. It was had a hard night that day. So I didn't pick. He said it was very well hidden, ma'am. Like I hid the knife. Anyway, it was funny. I probably could have done all of this off camera, but anyway, maybe it's showing you how it doesn't have to be hard. Right. Best thing I ever did was design his kitchen, but the rubbish was just right there, so you can just go boom, straight in. You don't have to worry about anything. All right. So in pot, you don't have to be anything fancy with this. You just cut it up. You want to make it so it's all sort of the same sort of size. so it all cooks at the same time. But onion is going to take longer to cook than pumpkin and soften, because what you want to do, what we're going to do, is put a little bit of water in this, not much, and just sweat this down. No, there's a couple of you that don't like onion. This soup's not for you. But you could put leek in it. Leek is something that you can work with. It is just all going to get blended up, but like your pumpkin sweet, the onion turns sweet. You've got that buttery, fat, yummy flavour. And then at the end, what we're going to do is, I normally do it with milk. We blend it up and then just add milk. However, when you freeze that, it doesn't really freeze that well. So if you do it with cream and water, it freezes a lot better. And I've got a few people that I'm going to give some of the soup to, so it may not need to be frozen, but when you reheat it, if you if you have milk in it and you reheat it, sometimes the milk will curdle, so cream makes it stabilise better. So I'm just going to put that on the stove for maybe 45 minutes or so. So we're going to leave on it. Next thing we're going to do is, I'll do coleslaw, or I'll get the chicken in the fridge. I'll put the chicken in the fridge, chicken in the oven. I'll turn the oven on. And yes, if you have any questions that some people might ask, please ask me while we're doing this.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got the oven on 200. There are so many of these little salt things that you can use. Like this is a nice one that I just got lately, satay mass. I took that fishing. I've got bush rub, seafood rub, roast chook rub. We could use that one today.
I found some of the mixed herbs that we've got at home have sugar in them.
Oh my God.
So many.
Yeah. I don't buy any of the stuff from any of the flavourings from Woolies. All I'll do is buy just the herbs or just the spices by themselves and make them up. I will do a curried chicken maybe either later on in the week or next week and teach you how to make a curry paste, but not an Asian one. Oh, it's called it's Indian. It's like out of coriander seeds and cumin seeds and just a dry one. Just so you can get a bit of an idea of how easy it can be. So I've just got, if I was living by myself, I would probably, I've got four thigh chicken thighs here with the skin on, of course, because the skin's the best bit. You guys really get friendly with fat because when your body is working on fat burning mode rather than sugar burning mode, you have such clearer thinking, you have so much more stable energy, no ups and downs and stuff. So there is sometimes a fine balance too that I found. I'm just washing my hands. That if you're really wanting to release weight, it is go for a more leaner cut. But we're not at that spot just yet. And I'm thinking more of the time that you're maintaining. So a bit of salt and pepper. This is roast chook. So this has got in it rosemary, pepper, Australian sea salt, celery seed, thyme, garlic, onion, allspice and saltbush. Like pretty basic, tasty. And if you just put a bit of olive oil and just rub it all in. Salt will always help crispy up the skin, so you want to put frogs on things. Also good for your body, helps you regulate things and keep your fluid in you as well. Right, I'm just going to tuck that down like that. Always wash your hands after chicken. You know, you can go from meat to lamb, like beef to lamb, not a problem at all. Chicken, very, very careful there. All right, so now we'll make coleslaw. I have one of these cool little machines from Tupperware, and only because it was ready to sell people. So that's why I've got it. And it just makes it be all a lot more uniform. So I love red onion. Hubby doesn't. And the only way I get him to eat coleslaw is if I do it with leeks. So I'll just cut leeks on here as well. Now, if you were doing a tray bake in a couple of days, you could just keep all of that and you can make a tray bake, which maybe we could do another day too. So I'll just keep all these bits in the bag and then we can do a tray bake and just show you how you can just use up all these things. So that's that. Then we've got the cabbage. Just cut the core out. Same thing. So if you see that, it's nice and fine for you. Can you see that in that camera? Yeah. And you don't need much skills for this at all. And because we're going to do a tray bake in a couple of days, you don't need to use the guard that much, because you're not going to take it down lowest, like the smallest amount on the cutter. And like if you were doing smoked meat or a brisket or something like that, coleslaw goes so good with it, because the fattiness, and because in your mayo you've got that apple cider vinegar, it just sort of cuts through the fat of your corned, or not your corned, but smoked meats and stuff. So I'll just keep that in my little bag of offcuts. Let's make it a bit exciting. You can put some red cabbage in there too. Pretend it's red onion. And then you can take this thing off and turn it into a grater. You can see easier if you use this thing with carrot. And make sure you've got that thing up flat. Just If anybody needs Tupperware stuff, pretty sure Maggie is still a Tupperware agent. So unless you have your own that you already buy through, you can go through Maggie. I'm pretty sure these things are still available. All right, so that's as easy as that. Again, salt and pepper. And then some of your mayo that you just made. Hands are a good thing. Now I'm actually getting dinner ready for tonight too, so this is why I made so much, but you can see that was a quarter of each cabbage, or nearly. So if you just used a quarter of a cabbage, you'd get half as amount of this, and maybe just half a carrot and a bit of leek. And if you like your coleslaw really mayonnaise, you can add more. If not, you're actually really going to start to notice the flavour of vegetables, because this is not a sugar-filled mayo. It is not filled with other flavours or anything. It is really just mustard and oil and vinegar. And the egg is just to keep those stabilised together and keep them at a place where they're all mixed. And so they're enhancing the vegetables themselves instead of adding a lot of flavour. So I know when I first started eating like this, my family's just like, where's the flavour, Mum? Doesn't even taste like there's anything in this. Where now we don't have many sauces in it. We don't have pre-made sauces. We don't have any of that stuff except for some tamari. We do have a type of Worcestershire, which I think is Lee Perkins or something like that. It's got the least amount of sugar in it. But that's about it for sauces. My son still does have tomato sauce, I think. But he's more into mayo these days, which is great. So, coleslaw. Pumpkin soup is on. Chicken's in the oven. I'll just pack this away. And then we will start on our pasta tray bake. So this is something you can do on a Sunday afternoon if you wanted to and get prepared for the week. It'll make your week so much easier. And have all those things that you can pick at. I'll just put this on the fridge. All right, today I am using lamb mince. You can use any type of mince that you like, because lamb mince is all I have left in the freezer. So onion or leek, up to you. Here's a tip for you. Paper towel. It's a bit dangerous when you're trying to cut on the cutting board and it just slides all over the place. So you put a bit of wet paper towel or a piece of that non-slip stuff. Doesn't move, so less chance of hurting yourself. Now I've only got a little packet of mince, so I'm only going to put in half an onion. So remember, we're making flat sides so that things don't move away from us. And if you want to dice an onion, cut it in slithers all the way along so it still stays together. And then you cut it the other way. And then when you come down to that end bit, look, we're not on a cooking competition here, so we can just do whatever, and we're just trying cooking. You can just cut that up. If you want to go smaller, you can. Then some garlic. Depending on how much you like. When you have to do your own dishes, like I used to have a dishwasher, like a dish pig. Now, that's me. Use as less dishes as you can. You just bash that, take the skin off. It's up to you. If you have a garlic mincer, you can put in a mincer, or you can just cut it up. Whatever's quickest for you. You can even put it with the skin into some garlic little crushes and it'll get rid of all of that for you. Anyway, we're just going to cut it because I like things a bit rustic. Now we're going to use, this is going to be tomato based. However, do things a bit different there too. Instead of tin tomatoes, I freeze my tomatoes. So since they're starting to go a little bit yucky, I just chuck them in the freezer. Because when they defrost, they're all mushy anyway, so you don't have to do much with them. You can just chuck them in your pot whole like that and break them up as they defrost, or you can give them a couple of minutes and then you'll be able to cut them. No numbers, no nothing, so much better for you. And you know what's in it, you know what's going into your bottle. Then even mixed herbs. Did you say mixed herbs sometimes has
I think
sugar?
those types are okay, but like your seasoning and
Italian herbs and stuff, I think.
yeah, I'd have to check the Italian one, but yeah, the pre-mixed flavour.
So I just go all separate. So oregano and basil there. We've got garlic, we've got onion. And so there is Italian herbs here that these mob have got, but I'm not quite sure for the packet. Not quite sure what's in it, so we're not going to do it. Because I'm using lamb, I've got this little saltbush one. So it's just a triplex, whatever, saltbush, another name in it. All right, so here's our pumpkin soup. You can maybe come over and have a look at there. See, it's just, there's a little bit of water. It's going to create its own water and stuff in there. It's everything sort of sweating down. You know, you need less food if you have fat in it. Because fat actually fills you up. Okay, olive oil. So I've just mixed up here basil, oregano, and saltbush. Just have on the side. We've got garlic and onion. That'll be. We generally buy like a lamb or two at a time. So I asked them not to make it really lean because, you know, that fat flavour. So I asked the picture when they mince up all the scraps to leave some of the fat in. So that's why my mincing is a little bit fat. A little bit of salt. Salt flakes are not as salty as the ground up table salt, so you're not really going to over salt that much. Put some herbs in. And then a little tool, it's a big tool. You've got lots of mince in a pot. I'm going to break it up. This is a cool little thing. But as that brown in the bed, what I'll do is cut up these tomatoes. This in that time that they've been able to freeze them, you can make them cut. Pretty good. Always good things with that nice red spaghetti sauce. But it's always nicest once if you've fried it off rather than just add it in at the end or something like that. Fry your paprika off a bit, add the nice flavour. Now, if you wanted to, you could add red wine now. If you wanted to, I'm not going to do that today. But wine is sort of like vinegar. You just chuck a little bit of vinegar in. And that cuts through the tomatoey paste and stuff a bit. And there's our frozen tomatoes. Chuck those in. So we'll just let that break down for a little bit. And we're going to do something different. We are going to have this with cauliflower as our pasta instead of traditional pasta. I don't eat much flour and stuff. I'm sure I will when I go to Italy. However, this is not Italy. This is Catherine. And what we're going to do on the thing, we're going to steam it. So I think you got to have at least a litre of water, so I think it's not. So put that on. This baby sits on top. This is going to take maybe 10, we'll say 14 minutes on the variegator. Won't have that long to cut it. So what we're going to do is just cut it into little florets like this. You want it all the same size. We're going to put it all in together so it all cooks at the same speed. So this is going to be like penne, maybe that sort of size. And you'll notice if you ever cook this, that once you eat it, you don't have that heavy feeling that you need to go and have a sleep after you've eaten them. You don't feel overfull because you really, the truth of the matter is you can't overeat when you're eating meat and veggies. When you're eating pasta and bread and all of those sorts of things, you can overeat. You can feel so full. But if it's just meat and veggies without too much sugary stuff in it and things that your body doesn't know how to process, because as soon as you start chewing, your body is looking for nutrients. It's going, okay, we're getting ready to food. Let's get ready. And if you don't give it nutrients that it's needing for survival, it will just keep asking for more food. Go and eat some more until we get the nutrients that we're looking for. Go and eat some more, which is why if you've ever had pasta and all it's got in it is maybe a bit of olive oil and stuff, not much veggies, you could eat a whole big bowl, whereas you're eating because it's your body's going, there's no nutrients in this, it hasn't satisfied our nutritional hunger. Please keep eating until we get the nutritional value. And that's why you can just keep eating and eating and eating. That's why you can just eat bowl after bowl of ice cream and all the things that have not much nutritional value. It's easy to overeat. So do we like that? Not much chance. All right. Then I mix the side bagel grains. I must move the cookie thing. Anyway, here we go. So this actually took about 11 minutes. So there's my cooked cauliflower. Sort of looks like penne, hey? And I did put a tablespoon of tomato paste in this lamb mince. Now, tomato paste will always bring your sauce together. So it is like a thickening agent. So never put tomato paste in if you're going to sit there and simmer something, because it will catch on the bottom. Because it will thicken up your sauce. So this was a little bit watery. Put a tablespoon in and it's just brought it all together so it soaks the mince better. And we're just going to chuck it on top. And you can just mix it up a bit. Now, I did find out the last time I did wild fit that tomato created some hot flushes in me while I slept and while I was awake. So when I eat tomato, because I haven't stopped eating, I haven't completely, but when I eat tomato, it's like maybe a once a week and one meal once a week, and it seems to be okay, which is trial and error, I found out. So Jess finally breaded me up some cheese here. If you're still having cheese, you can put cheese over the top of this and then chuck it back in the oven just to melt the cheese. If we were dairy free, you could actually grate up some macadamias and put it on top. And if you have spaghetti bolognese or stuff like that, or spaghetti with zucchini noodles or those other noodles, you can grate macadamia nuts, and it's a nice flavour. It's fatty, but it tastes real great. So I'm just going to chuck that back in the oven for 5 or 10 minutes. Now, the pumpkin soup is also ready to go. I'm just going to empty this so I can mix it up in here. So this is what pumpkin soup looks like now. Yummy, yummy. So we'll just put it into the Thermomix or your food processor. You could even use a stick blender in this pot. Maybe that's what I could have done. And do it that way. I've done it like that before too. It's probably the best way to do it actually. Because then when you add the cream to it, you're not dirtying different things. So don't do it this way. See, they can teach you what not to do. So there it is, blend it up. I should have just done this with the blender. But it is hot enough that I'm not going to reheat it. And Jess found me some cream that has no sugar in it. You could use coconut milk with this. If you're dairy free, you can use coconut milk, that'd be fine. And that would actually be really nice. If you had coconut milk and then you put a bit of chili and coriander on top, that would be pretty yummy actually. So we're just going to put this double cream in. And stir it through. And full salt and pepper. Let's get this. And you could have just mixed that through with the stick blender. Would have been really easy. No, let's give it a taste. That is good one. So we've got pumpkin soup. Right, so Jess and I are going to have lunch today. We could have 2 courses here today. We could have pumpkin soup. Then we can have some coleslaw with our pieces of chicken. And see all that juice. A lot of people pay a lot of money for all this collagen stuff, right? That's exactly what all this is. Just spoon some over it. You can actually, you know what I have to do? I've done it in Adelaide, is you just freeze that. The fat will be on top, take the fat off, heat it up in a cup the next morning or add a bit of hot water out of it. And there's like a cup of tea in the morning when it's still cold. And then because we've got to taste everything, there's our little baking thing. And we get some more veggies into us, Jess.
Yeah.
We'll have some of this on the side too. So we made baked, roasted up some chicken, made coleslaw, made mayonnaise, made pumpkin soup. Hour and 15?
Yeah.
Hour and 15 minutes. You can do this on a Sunday, and then this would be your meals or at least your lunches for the week and some of your dinners, and then makes life really easy. And that's it. That's your first cooking lesson for Wild Fit. Thank you.